What's up, Transformers fans? Mondo the Dad-Bottomist Prime here, and this is another Moonbase 84 transmission. And for today's video, we are doing episode 2 of our new series, Respect the Classics, the series where we take a look at old school Transformers. And spinning here for your viewing pleasure is the subject of today's video, the 1989 Transformers Pretender Longtooth. Now, for a full disclosure, I do not remember Longtooth from when I was a kid, so basically I did not know or remember that he existed until recently. I've been getting into Pretenders and wanting to pick some up because I think they're very underrated, and to me they are really cool. So I was searching eBay for different Pretenders and I saw this guy, and as soon as I saw him I said I need Longtooth in my life because he's just so wild and wacky. He didn't appear in the cartoon, and as I said, I don't ever really remember him. As a kid, I only had a couple of the Pretenders. I know I had Bumblebee, Bombburst, and Submarauder, and I think that's all I had. But anyway, as I said, he didn't appear in the cartoon, but I did some research because I haven't read any of that. That's about ready to change. The Marvel comic, the original Marvel comics he appeared in. So yeah, I look forward to reading those comics. Thanks to the new compendiums by Skybound. I just picked up volume 1 recently, so hopefully sooner rather than later I'll know a little bit more about Longtooth. He doesn't seem like he featured much in the comics, but he seems to have gotten some spotlight issue. The figure itself came out in 1989 in the Pretender line, and that's about it. That's what I know for his backstory. So let's take him off the spinner and we will take a closer look. So here's Longtooth off the spinner, and I also wanted to quickly note that the Pretenders were Hasbro's way of kind of adding, like, getting in on the action figure craze of the late 80s. So they came up with the shells, and the first few waves or whatever of Autobots were kind of boring in a way because they were chunky guys in like spacesuits, while the Decepticons got really cool looking beasts. But not so with Longtooth. He is a walrus type creature, and he is just wild. I love this guy. And as we take a closer look here, there he is. I love like the eye, like this whole headset that comes down to the eye covering, eye patch, I guess. Maybe he's a pirate. And you got the tusk, and my copy is really nice. The shell is really nice. A lot of nice paint going on with this guy. You get the nice fur textures here, crisp Autobot symbol on the top. But you get the grayish fur texture, and he must be in some sort of suit because he does have like an armored type look on his arms, very nautical with this going on. The blue, love the blue, it pops. All the colors with this guy pop. But then it's weird, maybe this is an oversuit, this green, because it is more fur texture. And then you have like the boots kind of, or shin guards with the spikes. Just really cool. I think he's so wild, I love him. You get some nice toes back with the fur sculpt. So a lot of nice detail and paint on the back. He has a nice little backpack. This will come into play when we open him up and check out his inner robot. But yeah, really, really wild Pretender shell, especially considering he's an Autobot. And as I said, at the time we got a lot of chunky guys in suits. And I think it's funny because he came out in '89. Of course, the Ninja Turtle craze was in full effect, so he kind of reminds me of something that would fit within the Ninja Turtle. So maybe they were going for not just an action figure vibe with these guys, but maybe a Ninja Turtle vibe, and he fits perfectly with Ray Fillet here. Too wild. I love Ray Fillet. He's just wild and out there, even talking Ninja Turtles, and Longtooth fits right in. Of course, he's sporting his blaster rifle that has some nice details as well. It's got like a beige color, kind of like the back. Mine is starting to fade towards the back, or like maybe some paint blend. But yeah, but still really clean. This guy came out, he's in really good shape. Articulation, Pretenders, G1 in general weren't known for articulation, and neither were the Pretenders. They tried to get the action figure vibe going, but kind of failed in that. But his arms rotate, and that's about it. So as I could kind of hear Rumble saying, first we're gonna have to crack the shell and then take a look, not crack because he's an original toy, the nut inside. So we're gonna open up the Longtooth shell and check out the inner robot. First, you have to remove this piece, like I said, that comes into play in robot mode. And then you just separate the shell, if I can remember exactly where. I think it is right here. It's very, oh no, back, I had it wrong. Very tight. Ugh. The robot comes crashing out. And there we basically have Longtooth's robot mode, but we'll leave him in half vehicle mode for now because he's basically already there. So you have this part, and that's why you need this to plug onto the top, like so. And there you have Longtooth in his alt mode, the inner robot alt mode. And it's weird, it's some kind of, the front is some kind of like watercraft landing vehicle, but the back kind of breaks up, like gets rid of that vibe because it's more like a military type vehicle. So I don't know what it's supposed to be. It's cool though. I mean, I'm not going to hate on it, and it does have some nice details. This just rests on it. It doesn't really plug in, but it's got some nice sculpt work. Not a lot of paint, but still pretty cool. You get some paint for the windscreen. Just a cool little military vehicle. Now my surface sucks. I got to start getting a surface. Oh, there, it did click in, but it still just rests. I got to get a surface where things roll better so we can actually test how well this rolls. And then I guess we can just transform him into bot mode. Just take that piece off. Be very careful with these older figures. Flip the legs down. Flip this. Oh, does it just... Oh, yeah, it does do that. I didn't want to snap it. And you have Longtooth's robot mode. And to me, he gives off kind of like blur vibes. Maybe it's just the bluish tealish color, but he does definitely give off blur vibes. Just the colors. He has some nice sculpt and things. Try to... Oh no. Okay, I found it. That just clips off. It's not broken. But yeah, there's the... I don't know if he's tiny head sculpt. Yeah, fun little bot inside the Pretender. And his arms can rotate. Again, G1. And... let's see. Oh no, I forgot a part. I forgot a part in the shell. So in here, I'm making chaos. You can store it in the shell. The robot mode's little blaster. Just a tiny little pistol. And of course, you can plug it in like so. And there you go. There he is with his blaster. So pretty cool. So there you go, guys. That is the Transformers Pretender Longtooth from 1989. I should also mention he's known as like a smaller Pretender. I wish I had my Grimlock out. Right now, currently, he's the only other Pretender I have. I'm going to remedy that because I've become addicted to these guys. I've fallen in love with a lot of these Pretenders. There's several on my eBay watch list and in my buddy's shop that I've had my eye on. But the Grimlock is maybe like this tall, I would say, compared to Longtooth. The classic Pretender Grimlock, I should say. But going back and speaking about Longtooth, as I said, I love this figure. His shell does it for me. It's just so wild. I love the colors. He really pops. Mine, I got lucky. He's in great shape. And the inner robot's not bad for what he is. I mean, it's just a fun little robot. And if you've checked out any of my Cyber World videos lately, I've said that for some reason, the older I'm getting, the more I'm starting to appreciate the simplicity of like the older G1 robots. Like I'll always love them, and as well as new figures like the Cyber World figures. Just, they're charming in their own way. But anyway, yeah, love this guy. Now, the thing with this guy is he is kind of pricey, and when I first saw him and said I needed him in my life, I said what I'll try to do is part him together, meaning buying incomplete ones and parting him together, but you don't want to do that because of this piece right here. This is the money piece. That thing goes for disgusting amounts of money when you try to buy it separate. So you are ultimately better off just getting a complete one. And the little rifle here and the shell's bigger rifle are pretty pricey too. So you're better off just getting a complete one because like that is like half or 3/4 of the price a lot of times if you just try to get that piece. So that is my little bit of advice to you if you're interested in picking him up. And as I said, I was lucky enough to get a really nice copy. Yeah, I love this figure. I can't, it's just late 80s, early 90s wildness. And I see him, he wasn't clipped in all the way. I see him and he just makes me laugh. He's just so wonky. I love him. So that'll about wrap up the review. Comment to let me know what you guys think of Pretender Longtooth here. And as always, thanks for docking. And also, remember to respect the classics, man.